Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Lo24, and welcome back to the peeling continues of the Orca. This is a voiceover again because I made a mistake. I forgot to turn on the mic while recording this, but so I have the effect of hindsight. So let's continue. So there's a work order open for some reference. In this episode it's pretty much peeling and looking how to get the reactor done, and they saw me misclicking again the hand key next to the scanner key, checking the fuel pipe near the waste disposal unit, and then the second waste disposal unit, they have for some reason some kind of fuel flowing through them. So I'm trying to get as much cut points as possible, looking around for the generator. There I'm pushing the plate away. This run is not very efficient, as my previous runs aren't as well. They're neither very efficient, but I'm striving for that. So we got our first panel into the furnace and some real, just checking.
Deposit accepted.
These things are massive. There I'm looking for more cut points. As I said, it's not very efficient. I should use the scanner more for detecting the missing cut points, but visually, it works as well. And you can see this. The stinger is at 0%. That means it's shooting off sparks and overheating a lot. Also in this episode, you can see at the start and here fuel is at 49%, and fuel does become an issue. I never thought of that you have an issue with fuel, but you do. With these big ships you have to fly around a lot, and although you can try using your hands, that doesn't really work out. And here I'm looking around, flying around, again not using the scanner for efficiency. And there I spot the fuse, and you have to do the good timing. Yeah, that was not good timing. Basically you have 3 red lights have to be activated to get this, and you take a second to move your arm once you press the button, and sometimes I get it. I get it a lot better now. I have really, in my recent tryouts in free mode, I've gotten really much better at getting them. So here I'm trying, now the keel is loose, and so it knocks off the thruster, because in the part first I shut down the reactor, but it's still cooled, and next thing I will do after some more random cut points, I go to the nacelle, which is a great way if you start differently. In the inside, that's the first opening. You can fly through, push it away. So I try to use the grapple to pull it down in my downward momentum, but my grapple is still not upgraded enough, so I quickly lose patience and tether it anyway.
deposited.
And do a bad tether. These hurt. That's really not the efficient way to do it. Also, I should have loosened the other nacelle on the same side. There are 4 nacelles, 2 on each side. And here I have to try not to get pulled into the processor. So I'm spending way too much time on this panel. Yeah, I need like really upgrade my thrusters for better momentum, better speed, and especially more fuel, because it does now become an issue. In the later episodes I will try to get for more efficiency, and even in free mode I got the reactor that was momentum in the wrong way. I even got the reactor free and salvaged within 7 or 8 minutes. But you gotta be careful, especially with the update, that an uncooled reactor will immediately tick down into meltdown. Then you have to, once you disconnect the fuel, you will have to be very fast. So I removed the keel above the generator, and the oxygen warning does go off. But 1.5 minutes are fine. But the beeping does induce a light panic. So I start going back in after briefly considering continuing, and grabbing some oxygen.
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
So I have the experience that there is plenty of oxygen in these early stage orcas, but not very much thruster fuel. But I still managed to find one. I briefly considered taking out a monitor or a computer. So I tried to use forward momentum, but it's not enough. So up the edge, because force push it and try to not hit it on the top, because it will be flying back. And off it goes.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
They try to pull off a panel which I haven't even loose yet. Well, this is really all my early parts are really just a bit unstructured, but I can see that this panel is loose.
That's your meal ticket right there, Cutter. Alright, this one's pretty easy. She should just slide out of her cooling case.
What Wu says about the generator here in the in-game dialogue, it will just slide out. I think that's from the mackerels. They use the same dialogue, because these generators, believe me, these reactors, I mean, not generators, they won't just slide out. These generators do. Luckily they're not too heavy, so you can use your momentum. I'll pull it down. I'm afraid it'll hit the front of the ship. There, I'll make it worse. And then I discharge the force push in the empty direction, not to force push it down to the nose of the craft.
Salvage Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
This is one of the first times using my scanner actually, to see whether this panel does come off. It does not. So in this little room I try to maneuver and push this panel upward, but I don't get very much momentum, but you can see my speed is increasing slightly. So I try to a very risky maneuver with the panel next door, next to it. I tether it upwards to upright it, which is a valid strategy, but you have to cancel tether early and to pull it because this panel does not go in the furnace. So some of these warning markers you can see, you saw just flying by, they come way too early, and earlier you didn't see one as I really was pushed, almost pushed in the processor by two together tethered panels. I go back inside to the 3 thrusters and going in there, trying to disengage, but because I shut down the reactor earlier, which I forgot, and I just checking all 3. They're already, you can see one is loose from the keel, but I forgot that I switched off the reactor in part 1. So here I'm now considering about the reactor distraction, and if the keel is loose, then the panel below should be loose as well. So lights on the cooling pipe are on, so this means it's still active. So I try to push down this panel to get more room for the reactor extraction and to cut the cooling pipe. There goes another oxygen warning. Used a lot of time moving that panel, and I realized 2.5 minutes, won't be probably make it in this one to extract the reactor. So I'm using all my tether for the remaining seconds, because now I'm really thinking about efficiency.
Oxygen reserves are critical. Please contact your plan administrator to
I
have
was briefly
asphyxiation
considering
coverage.
continuing, but then I pick up the oxygen, which was really a waste. I should have just ended my shift early. And I'm trying to make way for the reactor, and the next shift and episode will take it out, or try taking it out. So there I go, almost. Trying to use momentum, which does get quite dangerous now, because I have a lot of momentum. I have to be careful not to get into these processes or to land in the furnace. So now I'm cutting the cooling pipe, which in hindsight wasn't the best idea. So although I switch off the reactor, there's still some fuel in these pipes remaining. Who could have known? So I don't know why I do all these cuts, so I'm a little bit of panicking right now because of the remaining time. I want to use them to the max, and all these cuts are not very thoughtful. But anyways, here we go. So that's a shift. Not very good, but still on the plus side. And well, the heavy hitting will be done in the next episode. So again, almost 500,000. So thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and see you soon.